Okay, we are in 1.7, the simplifying expressions. Now, this is the most important section. The most important section. Okay, this is the most important. I can't say it enough. Here we go. It's just math, y'all. Let's jump into it. Okay, simplifying expressions. All right. So what is an expression? Expressions is a sequence of numbers, variables, operation symbols, and or grouping symbols formed according to the rules of algebra. Big deal here. Expressions do not contain an equal sign. Okay, you will notice that I am not going to write an equal sign. I'm not. I don't write a lot of them anyway. But expressions do not contain an equal sign. Very important. Okay, so let me give you some examples of a couple of expressions. All right. I had them in front of me. There they go. So 3x plus 5 is an expression. These are just examples of expressions. 3x plus 5. That's an expression. 2/3 m minus 9. That's an expression. 8p to the second power plus 6 times p minus 2 in parentheses. That's an expression. There's no equal sign here. And here's 3 times parentheses x minus 7 minus 7 times parentheses y plus 3. These are all expressions. They do not contain an equal sign. Okay, they have numbers, variables, operation symbols, grouping symbols, according to the rules of algebra. Okay, so now let's talk about a term. A term is a number, a variable, or a product or quotient of numbers and variables. So let me show you some terms here. So like we've got a few terms already shown here. So 3x is a term. 5 is a term. 8p to the second is a term. Okay. We can have more than one variable. So negative 8 m to the second over n. Excuse me. Yeah, that's a term. We could have 2 over p. That's a term. K. Just k. K is considered a term. 3x over 8. That's considered a term. Negative n over 2. These are all terms. A number, variable, or a product or quotient of variables. I could throw a y in here just to say, hey, there's more than one variable. These are all terms. Now, in a term, you have a numerical coefficient. The number in front. That's called a numerical coefficient. So for each one of these terms that I've listed here, each one of these has a number in front, a number part. Okay. Sometimes they're easy to spot, sometimes they're not. All right. So for the first, for 3x, well then obviously the numerical is 3. For 5, well, it's just 5. For 8p to the second, it would just be 8. That's the numerical part. For this next one would be a negative 8. For this one, okay, this one's kind of tricky. This is technically 2 times 1 over p. So the numerical coefficient part would just be 2. This one, k, well, that's technically 1k. So the numerical coefficient would be 1. This next one, 8 is part of the number part, so the numerical coefficient for that one would be 3/8. And just like on the k, there's a 1 on the k, there's a 1 right here as well. So the numerical coefficient for negative n over 2 would be negative 1/2, because that 2 is also part. So those are the numerical coefficients of terms. Those fractions and the things without numbers, you got to get tricky. But this is extremely important because we have to know what those numbers are. Okay, So now those are terms, those are the numerical coefficients, and now like terms. What is a like term? A like term is a term with exactly the same variable and exactly the same exponents. Exactly the same variable with exactly the same exponents. Y'all, we can do this. Okay, we're going to combine the terms by combining the numerical coefficients. Only like terms can be combined. Now remember, remember what combine means. Combine means add or subtract based on positive and negative rules. Okay, that's what combine means. So we can combine, add, or subtract like terms, terms with the exact same variable. So, for example, if we had 9x plus 4x, those are like terms. 9x's plus 4x's, I can combine those to make 13x's. Okay, and 6x to the second power minus 2x to the second power, well, that's going to be 4x to the second power. We're just doing the numbers, the numerical coefficients. If I had negative 2pq plus 11pq's, do the numerical coefficients. I have to combine a negative 2 and a positive 11. Signs are different. Subtract the numbers. Keep the sign of the larger number, so it's going to be positive, and keep your variables. And I don't need that little plus sign there, remember? Combine the numbers. Now, can you combine these? 4xy to the second plus 4x to the second y. Look very closely. These are not like. You cannot combine them. Go back to the definition. Exact same variables with exactly the same exponents. Okay? The little exponent is on the y for the first term. It's on the x for the second term. So they're not exactly the same. So they are not like terms, so you can't combine them. And this is a big deal. Most of you know this. But be careful. Look out for these. Okay, so now, again, this is the most important section in the chapter. All right? And so now we're going to learn how to simplify expressions. This is the big deal. All right, you're going to remove any parentheses using the distributive property. That was 1/6 we're building. And then we combine like terms if we have any. Now, sometimes we don't have any parentheses to do. So I've got 6 examples here. I've got a few more. Let me pull those up. Okay, so I've got 8 examples here. Now, if you'll look at this one down here, there are no parentheses. So step 1, we would skip. Okay, so step 1 says remove the parentheses using the distributive property. And step 2 says combine any like terms. This one doesn't have any parentheses, so we would skip step 1. Okay, go ahead, stop the video, copy these problems down and see what you can do, and then start it back up and click through and see if you and I got the same answer. Okay, so here we go. We're going to combine what does our step say? Remove parentheses using the distributive property. Okay, so that's a 6 times p, which is 6p, minus 12. Okay, I'm going to bring down. That was a plus 6p. Oh, goodness, what's going on here? There we go. And I'm going to bring down the 8p to the second. And that's all I can do. That's it. It is simplified. There are no like terms. These are not alike. So I'm done. Step 2 didn't have to happen. Okay, so now step 1, I removed the parentheses, but step 2, they weren't alike, so I'm done. All right, so that's my answer right there. That's simplified. Next, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the remove the parentheses. I am color coordinating for, if you're wondering, that's a minus 21. And then I'm going to do these the same way. Minus 7y or negative 7y. Okay, so I did that. Now I'm going to combine any like terms that I have. Well, these two are alike. They are numbers without variables. So all the numbers without variables are like terms. And signs are the same. Signs are the same. So to combine them, I'm going to add them and keep the sign. Now these other two are not alike, so I'm just going to write them down. And now I'm done because they're not alike. All right, next one. Here we go. We have negative 6, positive 15, k. Okay. Now I'm just going to bring those others down because I didn't do anything with them. All right. And so now I'm going to combine my like terms. Well, these two are alike, and these two are alike. So I'm going to combine them using addition and subtraction. Okay, so it doesn't matter which ones I do first. So if I do the 9k and a positive 15k, 9 and 15, signs are the same. I'm going to add the numbers. So that'll be a 24k. And then these two are alike. Signs are the same again. Sign same, add the numbers, and keep the sign. And so there's the answer for that one. Simplified. Okay, these are not equal signs, so I've just decided I don't like the way I did that. Those look like equal signs, and those aren't. Those are alike. Okay. All right. We're going to go through these quickly. Hopefully you're getting the habit. I want to end this video. I don't want it to go over too long, so let's go fast. So I'm going to distribute here. Oops, wrong color. So negative 2 plus r plus 10r, just bringing that one down. And now these are alike. There's a 1 here, so that's going to give me a sign same, add, keep the sign. So that gives me a negative 2 plus 11r. I'm going to do this one. Gives me a negative 4/3 y plus, now I got to do my fraction. Again, either scratch paper or calculator, but it's got to be done. It's got to be done. I can't ignore it. Seems like I did this earlier. Seems like I did this problem earlier. So negative 4/3 times 12 over 1. This is scratch. That's going to be 3 times 4. The 3's cancel, and I get negative 16 over 1. So this is going to give me a positive, oh, yeah, they're both negative. Positive 16. Now, this one right here is not multiplied, so I'm just going to bring it down. Minus 1/6y. Right, so now I got to combine my like terms. So this one and this one are alike. They're fractions. Ugh! You got to combine them using your positive and negative rules for adding and subtracting. Okay, so I have a negative 4/3 minus 1/6. Signs are the same. I'm going to add them and keep the sign. You may use your calculator. If you want to get a common denominator, it would be a 6. I'm going to change that. Sign same. Add the numbers. So it'll be a negative 9. Keep the sign. And then I'm going to reduce that. I reduce that to negative 3 over 2. Okay, so we get negative 3 over 2y plus 16. You're thinking, yeah, I'm going to pull out my calculator anytime those fractions come along. That's fine. That's fine. It's your prerogative. I told you may use that. Okay, so this one's going to give me 12 plus 6y, bring down to 14y. All right, combine the like terms, add them. There we go. Okay, might as well finish out this video right here, even though it's long. Okay, so now this first one doesn't have any parentheses, so I've just got to do the like terms. So 2k and a minus 5k and a plus 7k and a minus 1k. Those are all my k's. I can combine them all. I can write them down if I want to. I'm going to do 2k minus 5. I'm going to do 2 minus 5 plus 7 minus 1. I can do that in my calculator. 2 minus 5 plus 7 minus 1. I can do it in my head. I can do it however I want to. I get 3. I do those. I get 3k. Okay, those are all the k's. And then I've got a minus 7 and a minus 3. Okay, sign same. I can do it on the calculator if I want to. Sign same, add the numbers, keep the sign. I get minus 10. So that's your answer for that one. Okay. All right, this next one I'm going to distribute. So this is going to be a positive 6k and a minus 4. Spreading them out sure does help. Put a 1 on that one. So minus 5k minus 6. Spreading out sure does help. This one's not multiplied. Not multiplied, so just bring it down. And then again, let's find all your k's. Combine those numbers, so that's 6 minus 5 minus 3. So that's 1 minus, it's negative 2. Okay, and then these, that's negative 4 minus 6 minus 5. Signs are the same, add the numbers, keep the sign, so that's going to be a minus 15. Where did that come from? So there you go. Again, this is scratch work down here. Okay, this is the most important. Go back and review this over and over and over again. This is the most important. Simplifying expressions. Okay, this is the most important. All right, it's just math, y'all. You can do it.